Right. In Jay's introduction, I want to address, well, today Anju and I are presenting on how you can reverse terminal cancer using just diet. Okay, so what I mean by that is you have a doctor send you home to die, says there's nothing that we can do for you, and you can change your diet and your lifestyle, and in a matter of a short amount of months you can be fully healthy, no cancer, free, get on with your life happy. Okay, now I'll address one question. I've been asked this question 100 times this week. Danny, how do you know anything about cancer? You're not a doctor. Okay, so, and it's a damn good question actually. So the simple answer and the honest answer is I've watched a DVD and I've read the book. So I've spent enough years in consulting to know that to be an expert in a subject, all I need to know is know one thing more than you. I know one thing more than you. Okay, but I did take the precaution of bringing along the expert with me because I know I'm surrounded by a bunch of very clever people, and if you start asking me difficult questions, then I can say, Andrew, please come. So anyway, let me tell you where this journey started. It's a long time ago, 6 months ago. I volunteer with a non-governmental organization called the Indian Cancer Society. Indian Cancer Society looks after poor cancer patients who cannot afford cancer treatment. Little do they know they're very lucky. But 6 months ago, a friend of mine came up to me and he said, Danny, he said, I've got this DVD called Healing Cancer from Inside Out. Okay? He came back from the US. One of his friends in the US had just reversed terminal cancer using just diet. And of course, I did the obvious thing. And I said, you're clearly mad, right? Yeah? You're telling me that you can reverse terminal cancer using just diet. So, I mean, I'm guessing that you think I'm clearly mad as well. So, well, I did. I thought he was mad. So anyway, I thought I'd watch this DVD, nothing to lose. So I watched this DVD, and sure enough, on this DVD, there's a whole bunch of terminal cancer patients been sent home to die, changed their diet, changed their lifestyle. 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months down the line, completely clear of cancer. So, amazing. So I contacted this gentleman, the author of this, to help us at the Indian Cancer Society. This guy, Mike Anderson, based in LA, he's actually here presenting with us today. He's going to be presenting via a video. So I tied up with Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson is helping us at the Indian Cancer Society, so we've got a nice international mix. We've got an American team in Mike Anderson and a group of American doctors in the US. We have, I discovered a little further down the journey that these skills also exist here in Bombay, long way from here, in Worli and Bandra. I discovered Anju at the Health Awareness Center, follows exactly the same system that they follow here. And my first question, the thing that bugged me the most about this whole subject, is the fact that I'd never heard of it. The simple question that I wanted to answer is, how is it that you can reverse terminal cancer? And it's not only cancer, it's heart disease, it's diabetes, it's multiple sclerosis, it's arthritis, it's Parkinson's disease, adult onset diabetes. You can reverse in 5 to 7 days. Irreversible? Sound mad? It's true. So the first question I wanted to ask is, why do we not know about this? So in my good old Danny fashion, I have a tendency to, when I find something good, to stand on the rooftops and scream and shout and, you know, get a sore throat from screaming and shouting. So the reason why we're here today is because if there's ever an idea that's worth sharing, I thought this is the idea worth sharing. So what we're going to show you now is we're going to show you this is a 2-hour DVD. We're going to show you a 5-minute video clip of the DVD, and then I'm going to bring the expert on to actually tell you a bit about the science behind the body, and then we're going to close out.
I was diagnosed with malignant melanoma. At that point, he gave me 3 to 6 months to live. 10 months on the diet, I had my first scan, and I was clear, and I've been clear since.
Over the years, I've come to learn that when something doesn't make sense, if you follow the money, you'll usually find the answer. That's when I learned about the business of cancer. As you will soon discover, the search for a cure is hardly the altruistic endeavor you've been led to believe. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Even worse, when you look at the hard numbers, our current cancer treatments are appallingly ineffective. But when it comes to taking money from people by making false claims, no one does it better than conventional mainstream medicine. A cure is just around the corner has been the standard public relations pitch used to pump money into the cancer industry. The medical profession generally considers any drug with less than 30% effectiveness to be no better than a placebo. What you see from studies conducted over the last 50 years is that for our major cancers, the effectiveness of conventional treatments is far less than a sugar pill.
The first thing people have to realize, and I deal with a lot of cancer patients, is this is a slow-growing disease. And they've got time to think about this.
In many cases, doctors will try to rush a person to make a decision right then, and they scare them by saying, we have no time to wait.
That I needed to immediately do chemotherapy, radiation, and then a bone marrow transplant. And that they were also going to do a double mastectomy just in case I ended up with breast cancer.
The tumor becomes resistant and actually turns this chemical poison into food. But then it doesn't work anymore. All it does is poison, poison. You cannot heal with poison.
They've had the chemotherapy and the radiation, and for a while they thought that they were cured.
Over 90% of the people that have cancer will have a cancer return. And this is what they're telling us.
Well, you think about it as recurrence. It's actually not recurrence at all. It's just continuation of the disease.
She went in operation on Monday. They shocked her with chemotherapy. 2 weeks later, she was dead. And they said that she had an overreaction to chemotherapy. What the hell was that overreaction to chemotherapy?
If you had breast cancer in 1930 and you have breast cancer today, your prognosis is pretty much the same. Nothing has really changed.
When studies have compared treated and untreated patients, they show untreated patients actually live longer than treated patients. A few years back, there were headline articles reporting a 49% decrease in the incidence of breast cancer in women who took tamoxifen for 5 years. In fact, the 49% benefit is a relative number. The absolute benefit was only 1.5%. What do you think about healthy women getting preventive mastectomies in order to avoid breast cancer?
We can actually turn on and turn off cancer. You know, can cancer really be reversed? Can it be reversed by just simply altering nutrient intake? Again, that's something that was unheard of.
My oncologist told me that if I didn't do any kind of cancer treatments, she would not put me on disability. So I was not put on disability. And within 6 days, after being in bed for 9 months, after 6 days I was able to get up, and I took my first shower.
My doctor told me I would die in 6 months to a year at the maximum. The lump that was in my breast was about the size of a half of a dollar. In 1 month, it was about the size of a dime. That's how dramatically it shrunk.
Wellness Morning. I'm Anju Venkat from the Health Awareness Center. What we just saw is actually about you and me. We all differ in size, height, color, and gender, but we have one thing in common: a body that heals itself. I'm here to talk about the TED in us. What is the technology, entertainment, and design given by the body and chosen by the body and nature for us to live in wellness and in health? In the savanna grasslands, when a forest fire occurs, everything gets destroyed and becomes ash. When the ash cools, a single blade of grass grows to restart the circle of life. There is a living force within this blade of grass which is indestructible. Chlorophyll and blood has the same structural composition, which means the design of our body is indestructible. We are all dying to get our hands on the latest iPad. What we need to remember is this model, our body, is 3.2 million years old. Now this indestructible design has a self-balancing, self-regulating mechanism that functions automatically, which is why you cut yourself and your blood clots automatically to heal you. A particle gets into your eye shuts, your eye waters to automatically protect you. We boil water to kill germs and viruses. Our body does the same by raising its temperature, producing a fever to automatically purify you. Our body doesn't Google, doesn't check the yellow pages. All systems in your body, whether it's eliminative, digestive, circulatory, they all function 24/7 to automatically reach homeostasis, which is balance. That's the technological blueprint of our body. But is that what we are seeing? Are we seeing growth? Are we seeing regeneration? Are we seeing wellness? What we are seeing is osteoporosis, which is degeneration of the bone. What we're seeing is osteoarthritis, which is degeneration of the joint. We're seeing childhood onset diabetes, obesity, and finally, what we're seeing is the degeneration of a single cell, which is cancer. Now, why does this occur? This actually occurs because this technically designed body has been given the power that no other species in the universe has. The power to choose. We choose what we eat, we choose how we move and act, and we choose the way we think. Think about a snake. All it can do when attacked is hiss or sting. It cannot make the choice of filing a lawsuit or deciding to attack via bomb. A cow eats grass. It can't make the choice of walking into McDonald's and ordering a double cheeseburger or getting into Blue Frog and having whiskey on the rocks. We have been given the power to choose what we eat, act, and think. And what we've done to this power is use it as entertainment rather than energy. This has been given to us as a source of energy which we are not using. So 75 trillion cells in your body that has the technical design to purify you, heal you, protect you, needs two things in order for it to function. What it requires is what we term as energy and a medium, which is alkalinity. You drop a seed in salt solution, it can't grow. Similarly, your body, in order to function, needs what is termed as alkalinity. You throw a seed in concrete, it can't grow. It needs a fertile soil, and that fertile soil is what is termed as enzymes. Now, as we've moved away from nature, as we've denatured food, as we've processed food, refined it, packaged it, added chemicals in order to process it, what starts happening is that you remove the enzymes within the food. As the body lacks this enzyme, nutrition doesn't go into the cell, and the cell starts degenerating. What we've started to doing in terms of action is to continuously be in what is termed as 24/7 radar on. So as the radar is on, what starts happening is your cell wall has receptors, and these receptors act only according to your emotion. So as fear starts settling in, your cell wall starts shutting, suffocates itself, and therefore your body brings out a signal which is a symptom. This symptom is what you term as disease. So what we have to think about is disease is a body not at ease. Radioisotopic studies have shown that every atom in your body can change once a year. Your skin lining changes every 1 month, and your liver changes every 3 months. Who you are today is not who you were yesterday or who you can be tomorrow. All your body wants you to do, what nature wants you to do, is add life to life.
I'm going to close. Thank you, Anju. I'm going to close. I've got 1 minute to close. I want to leave you with a thought. This is a subject that's not only relevant to us as individuals, but also us as a society. I pulled out a great article. Thought it had a little one-liner that would make you laugh. Meet the world's top destroyer of the environment. It's not a car, it's not a plane, it's not even George Bush. Nope. This is an article from 2006. It's the cow. 27% of global emissions come from cows. That's more than planes and cars put together. But how much do you hear in the press about reducing, getting hybrid cars, looking at solar energy, and how much do you read about cows? Why do governments subsidize agricultural farming and increase the size of the problem? If they stop subsidizing farming, a beef burger would cost you $35. Would you buy a Big Mac for $35? So these are issues that if we address issues like diet that also improves our health, will also ultimately affect the health of the earth as well. Self-care is healthcare is earth care. Interesting questions, but good food for thought. Thank you.